And I want to be clear. I want to be clear about Brother Polight. You know, the social media pro-black, you know, speaking in circles, telling you a bunch of useless information. This guy, Brother Polight, violated the daughter of a woman that he was cool with because he thought he could get away with it. He thought he can get away with it. And he got off very leniently with those 7 years. This is a guy who is sneaky, grimy, who's accused of being a thief, con artist, but he's about his people. Most of these guys, if not all of them, are not about the people. They're about themselves. They are about enriching themselves. This is why I call these people pro-ax. And again, I'm not putting all of the conscious community in the same box, but I mean, birds of a feather, you know. Birds of a feather, you know. If you're a grown man, I don't care if you're Brother Polight or whoever, no matter how charismatic you think you are, you're not going to get away with this shit. You're just not. He really thought he was going to get away with it. And I do think he needs to be registered as an offender because he could actually repeat and do this again. And people need to know that he's a part of that bunch. People need to know that because he's been accused of this behavior before. It's not like this is something, oh my God, I can't believe. No, he's been accused of something like this. And the thing is, when I saw him go Hollywood, I knew that, you know what, man, this is just a career, right? I'm going to give you a bunch of useless information and act like I'm teaching. You're not teaching nothing but dysfunction and thievery and how to worship, just worship things, right? But I want to get to another element, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this live stream. You know what's fun? I had a whole lot I had to say, but I had to do something earlier today, so I had to wait to go live. I want to talk about the reaction to Brother Polight. I want y'all to understand, he's right where he should be. I am in no way going to defend Brother Polight. There's no defense for what he did. He got caught red-handed. He lucky he didn't go to jail immediately after that. And the fact that this idiot tried to make it seem like the charges were dropped. Bro, like, seriously. You did the crime. You chose to violate that young girl. You got what you deserve. And you should have to register as an offender. But I want to get into the reaction. Unfortunately, this situation is being used to once again shame black men for not protecting black girls. I really hate this narrative because I'm seeing a lot of people, especially women, acting like only young girls get abused. You know how many young boys get abused? Not only by men, but women as well. I even have a female subscriber who called my show and said that she was violated by a female. But I'm seeing people trying to push this narrative that it's only the men that are doing this and they're only doing this to girls. I don't want to see that because there are males who've been violated too, probably more than these young girls. We're not going to do this. I'm not going to let y'all do this. I'm not going to let y'all use this to jumpstart your gender war. It's not going to happen. Try again. You're not going to turn this into some talking points. And you know what's funny? The same women that I'm seeing trying to lump all black men into this category, this is one man's doing. This is an individual who decided to violate the daughter of a woman that he knew. You're not going to lump all black men into that category. You're not going to do it. Because there are black men out here who've never violated a girl. Never violated a boy. Never violated anybody. You're not going to lump all and then try to shame us, say, where were you? Why weren't you protecting us? Maybe because they were being violated too. You know how many stories we see of teenage boys being violated by their female teachers? You got middle schoolers being violated by you don't really see a lot of stories of male teachers doing that. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to see a story of a grown woman violating a young male who she is teaching. You see nothing but women. Don't really see any men getting caught doing that. Maybe once or twice here or there. So I'm not going to let y'all do that. You're not going to act like it's only young girls that are being violated. That is not true. There's a lot of predators out here. Predators come in all shapes and sizes. Predators aren't just male. And I'm seeing a lot of women who've gone through trauma who are using this to push their agendas and push their black male hate. You're not going to do that. Because just as many of y'all that have stories about the black men that have violated you, you got just as many people that talk about how they've been violated by black women. You're not going to do that. You're not going to use this story to push your agenda. Because that's exactly what you're doing. Right, you got all these female teachers getting caught violating young boys. Where are y'all at? Why aren't y'all making live streams about that? Why aren't y'all doing panels about that? It seemed like damn near every week there's another story about a young male being violated by a female teacher. But everybody want to act like it's only black men that are doing this. Every community has predators. It ain't just a black male thing. It happens everywhere. And it especially happens in communities where there is no strong male leadership. Let's talk about you single mothers. How many stories, and again, get the likes up, people. I'm going to have to put this live stream up for the members. I'm going to put this live stream up for the members. And for the Patreons. How many stories have we seen of single mothers allowing their boyfriends or new husbands to abuse their children? Everybody want to blame men. But what about the enablers? There's a lot of women who enable men. And let me get to the protection part. Oh, it's about to get deep, family. People want to talk about protection and why these young girls and young boys are not being protected. When black men have tried to come together and protect the community, a lot of you women sabotage it. Look at the Detroit 300, right? Sabotage. When black men try to do more in the community, y'all sabotage it. Because you gotta be the leaders. Well, let me tell you something, black women. You can't be the leaders of the community and then seek protection. It's just like the woman that got hit with the brick, right? I don't agree with that. I told y'all, I don't think you should hit a woman with a brick. But at the end of the day, we don't know how the altercation started, but we know how it ended. And according to witnesses, she was an aggressor. You know what I'm saying? She was an aggressor. And the way people react is the way people react. Right? But every time black men have tried to be leaders, have tried to assert themselves, y'all are right there to push them out of the way and sabotage them. And you know what that does? Do you know what that does? It makes it easier for the predators to abuse. That's a fact. When I hear all these women saying they can raise children on their own, you're a liar. You can't raise them on your own. They're being abused. So you failed at that. When you take the children away from the biological father and you bring in these weirdo men around your children, you're trying to make the children call the man daddy. You're mentally abusing your own children. You beat them down psychologically so that when they do get abused, they don't even say anything. But we got to blame the men. The black men aren't stepping up. Every time we've seen black men step up, you sabotage them because you want to keep your leadership role in the community. Let's be real about this. You want to keep your leadership role. Strong men are going to be a challenge for you, and you don't want that. Let's be real. A lot of you women don't want men to lead. So guess what's going to happen, ladies? You're going to make it easier for these weirdo predator hobos that y'all date, these men with no future, these men who are damaged themselves. You bring these types of men and types of energy into your life, into your family. They only know destruction. They are damaged as well. Look at the men that these women are choosing. And then you tell me why those children are being violated. Because of the men that you bring around your children. But it's the men's fault. Shout out to
Thank you
NHB.
for speaking up for black men. Flexed biceps, medium dark skin tone, full score, folded hands, medium dark skin tone.
Thanks, NHB TV. I just don't like this narrative because it's not true. Every time black men try to step up and be leaders of the community, they get sabotaged. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to make it easier for these predators to move around in these, and you're going to enable them. You're going to enable them. Why you think it's easy for these men to get access to these children? Because a lot of you women have been enabling these men to do this for decades. And now you want to act like it's just a black male problem. No, it's an enabler problem. We have too many enablers. Too many households ran by women. They get around these weirdo, creepy men and they move these men into the home. Some of these women don't even know that man's middle name, and she's moving them into the house. Around her children, leaving them home with their children. Trusting men that you barely know. Those men didn't just walk into your life. You let them in. You opened the door. You open the door. But us as black men, men who've never violated any children, we're supposed to pay the price. We're supposed to grovel, and we're supposed to beg for your forgiveness. Fuck that. Because a lot of you women have played a role in it too. You're not going to sit here and try to pin everything on black men. You're not going to do it. Because y'all have enabled these weirdos to do this for decades. And you're looking for somebody else to blame like you always do. Like you always do. You always look for a black man to blame. Why don't you look at the fact that a lot of these women allow men they barely know around their children, bring them into the home? That man didn't force his way into the house. You let him in. You take the children away from the biological father only to have them around men who do not love them, who do not care for them. Because deep down, some of you women don't care for your children either. And you don't care what happens to them because you got violated, and because you got violated, you don't care what happens to your children. Look at the stories that we've seen of women helping their boyfriends take the life of their children. Look at the Duty Low situation. Duty Low was with FTN Bay, right? Y'all remember her? She tried to claim that he abused her child, only for it to be, found out that he's innocent. He did not abuse her child. I think the reason why she pursued that is because I believe her child may have been abused, but by another man. And because she feels guilty, she has to blame somebody else. And why not blame the man that she just broke up with? We don't need to be doing this. We don't need to be trying to point fingers, because there's always going to be fingers pointing right back at you. The first thing a lot of you women can do is stop trying to keep your children away from their father. And you're bringing these weirdos, these hobosexuals into your home. And then look at what happens. Look at what happens. Unbelievable.